Hello, and welcome to the Smart Injury Doctors Podcast, the injury market's top program for doctors, lawyers, and insurers who want to gain greater insight on how to improve patient recovery results and deliver better services in the U.S. injury market. Please welcome your host, Dr. Jeffrey Allen Kronk.
Okay, the topic on today's podcast is goals. Goals help you to know where you're going so you never get lost. Goals are probably one of the most important things that you can have. And a lot of doctors, actually, I do a lot of coaching. A lot of doctors don't have goals. They have goals, sort of, but they're sort of murky. They don't actually have anything written down. So first of all, what is a goal? Well, a goal is a long-term objective. It's something that you can't accomplish this week, this month. It's a long-term objective. It's something that you decide that you want to have, something that you want to go for. And it can be a number of things, but they're generally out there further in the future. They're things that you have to work for a significant amount of time, usually, in order to achieve them. So Elon Musk has a goal of going to Mars. He's not going to achieve that tomorrow. But everything that he does is based on, is he one step closer to getting Mars or is he one step back? So he gauges what he does in his life as to whether he's closer to that. Any decision he makes, is it closer to that goal or is it moving away from that goal? But he never takes his mind off that target, right? So it's the same for you. I don't care what you're building. Let's say you want to build the largest personal injury practice. Okay, great. Let's say you want to build the largest chronic pain practice. Okay, great. Let's say you want to develop the nation's largest chain of wellness practices. Hey, that's great. Let's say you want to, your goal is, to have saturate the market with the best nutritional product the country's ever seen. Okay, that's great. Those are goals, right? Those are goals. A goal might be, look, I'd like to have $100 million in my bank by the time I retire. I'd like to have $100 million worth of assets. I'd like to have those assets there so that I can pass on some legacy to my family. And I'd like to, at that number, I believe I wouldn't be focused any longer on money, right? I'd like to also be able to donate 10% of that to my church. If I have $100 million, I'd like to be able to donate $10 million to my church. Right? Goals are whatever you decide. I'd like to have a cabin. My kids are young. I'd like to have a cabin in the mountains or cabin on the lake. I'd like to have a cabin that my wife and the kids could actually go to and I could seriously enjoy. They could enjoy. It would make memories throughout their life. Goals are long-term things. They're things that you're going to put into the future. Now, the reason why I say they help you to never get lost is because you have to, there's three things that usually are occurring when somebody is, we're talking about goals. The first one I said is, a person doesn't have goals. They don't have any goals and they don't have any written, they haven't sat down and really said, okay, what are my goals? And they write them down. See, if you don't have goals, then you're going to spend your life contributing and making other people's goals and dreams come true. And you're going to wonder why you aren't where they are or where you want to be. Well, one, you got to decide where you want to be. You have to decide what your Mars is. For Elon Musk, it's Mars, right? You have to decide what your Mars is. And then what you have to do, the reason why they help you to never get lost. Okay, Elon Musk can get lost. He can get off track, but as soon as he gets off track, what does he do? He looks at what his goal is. I need to get to Mars. Is what I'm doing right now? Is partying on the weekends? Wow, I just partied 4 weekends in a row. Is this getting me closer to Mars or is it getting me farther away from Mars? It's getting me farther away from Mars. Good. Change course. I'm no longer lost. Right? That's the beauty of goals. Goals, if you have goals, when you get lost, you just look at your goals and then you determine where you are. And it sets you right back on course. It helps you to align again, to know exactly where you're going. That's the beautiful thing about goals. So the first thing is if you don't have goals, you're just going to spend your life making other people's goals come true. Other people's dreams, you're going to contribute to their dreams. You're going to spend your money making sure that their dreams come true. So one, you should have some goals. Two, if the goals aren't big enough, it's not exciting, right? If my goal is, well, I just want to get up in the morning and I want to get to my backyard. Okay, well, that's not very exciting. Elon Musk, hey, you know what? I'd like to create a rocket that can get to the neighbor's yard. There's nothing exciting about that, right? One of the things that I want to give you today on this podcast is the permission to dream big. Dream big. And don't dream like the people around you dream, right? Dream big. The majority of people don't dream big. They watch people who dream big. They enjoy watching them on TV. They enjoy talking about their lives. They enjoy, gossiping about what they're doing, what they're not doing, how they're a good person, how they're a bad person, how money might have created them to be equal, how yada, 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 yada. They're talking about other people. And they're marveling at these people because they're accomplishing things, right? You have to have dreams that are big. So I'm telling you right now, I'm releasing you of any restriction. You can dream big. You can dream big. So you need to dream big. But if they're not big enough, you won't commit to them. You won't be fully committed to them. Right? So one of the issues is if you look at your goals, if they're not big enough, they're not exciting enough, and you won't commit to them. Right? So that's a problem. Now, the third thing is you don't have them written down and you're not looking at them on a regular basis. Right? You need to have them written down. If you're in an office, you're going to spend time in an office. My written goals are right here. I have them right here. Right? So I can see them every single day. Everything I'm doing in my office, everything we're doing. So we're trying to change the injury market. We're not going to try to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to crush it. We're going to bring back ethics into the personal injury space. We're going to actually have doctors that are some of the best doctors in the world actually treating patients that have spinal injuries. And we're going to basically take those doctors and seriously help them expand in their practices. I have a goal to actually achieve standardized spinal injury assessments. Standardized. Doesn't matter who does them. Chiropractor does them, doctor of PT does them, orthopedist does them, medical doctor does them, GP does them. I don't care if a 12-year-old kid does them. They're going to be standard and they're going to be the same because spinal injuries are easy. They're not complicated. They're easy. They've been made too complicated. So I have goals, and those goals have numbers associated with them. Because one of the things you should do with your goals is like I could say, well, look, I want to help as many people as I can. Well, that's a goal. That is a goal. But you want your goals to be something that you can measure. Like I said, I want to have $100 million in my bank account. I want to have my building paid for. I want to have my kids fully educated. I want to have a cabin in the woods during my kids' young years, so we can make all kinds of incredible experiences for them. I want my wife to have whatever. I want my husband to have whatever that is, right? But when you set the goal, it should be measurable so that you can measure somehow, are you getting closer to it or are you farther away from it? So you want to have it be something that is measurable. But the biggest thing you want to do is write it down. Write it down so that you can see it. Write it down so that other people can see it. Share your goals. Share your goals. Share your goals with your staff. If you like right now, if you're trying to build a big personal injury practice, share your goals with your staff. How big do you want to be? I mean, we have people in our program. I have doctors in my program that they see over 500 injury patients a month. They see over 200 injury patients a month. They see over 100 injury patients a month. They see over 60 injury patients a month. They see over 20 injury patients a month. They see over 5 injury patients a month, and some that are just starting out. Right? So you would go, okay, where do I want to get to? Well, let's see. My clinic could hold. I believe my capacity would be such that I could deal with 30 injury patients a week before I'd have to change out my building and my space. Okay, great. So target that. Good. I want to see 360 injury patients this year. All right, that's a goal. Or I want to fill my clinic to capacity, which would be 360 injury patients per year. Okay, that's fine. And maybe you're sitting at 2. Maybe you did 10 last year. Okay, good. That's not going to happen overnight, right? But that is a goal. So the biggest thing is have goals, have big goals that matter, big goals that can change your life, big goals that change your family's life, and get your family enrolled in it. And don't be afraid to say them. However big they are, don't be afraid to say them. Because if you're afraid to say them, then you're afraid of your own goals. If you're afraid to say them, it's because maybe you don't think you're responsible enough to hit them. Maybe if you start saying them and you don't hit them, everybody would think, oh, wow, what a loser. That you'll never get to your goals thinking like that. If you have those thoughts, just put them aside. They're somebody else's thoughts. They're not even your thoughts, probably. Somebody else influenced you to have those thoughts. So the key thing, though, is goals help you to know where you're going so that you never get lost. So set goals. Write them down. Make them big. Announce them. Get your family in line with them. Get your clinic in line with them. Get your staff in line with them. Help your staff to see how, wow, if they help you to get to where your goals are, how it would help them to get to where theirs are too. So doctors, each and every time we do a podcast, just do a short riff on a topic. I hope something I said helps. If you have interest in our program, the Smart Injury Doctors program, just go to our website, www.smartinjurydoctors.com. Also, if you're interested, we have a free Facebook user group where I post a lot of really good information. If you have questions, you just email us at drkronk at smartinjurydoctors.com, or Isaiah. Yeah, just do Dr. Kronk, DRCRONK at smartinjurydoctors.com. You can also catch us DM us on our Facebook page, and we'll get those over to you. Have a lot of really cool resources over there. And if you have interest in our program, call us at 800-940-6513. Also, if there's a topic you'd like me to talk about in the future, just let us know. Doctors, thank you very much for your time and attention. I look forward to you on the next podcast.
You've been listening to the Smart Injury Doctors Podcast, the #1 audio production show for professionals in the U.S. injury market that want to deliver better injury services to the patients, clients, or insureds they serve. If you like what you heard today, please leave us a review and don't forget to join us on our next program.